Yo, what's good, everybody, and welcome back to another solo sesh with your boy Dboii Wonder. And on today's episode, we about to get into the failure of the DCEU. Now, it does pain me to say that because I had such high hopes for this universe. But without further ado, let's get into this shit. So, the DCEU premiered its first film, Man of Steel, June 14th, 2013. It wasn't a strong start from a storytelling perspective, in my opinion. Now, this movie was boring as hell. Very slow pacing, and it felt like it took forever to get through. However, the film grossed $668 million against its reported $225 to $258 million budget. If you account for the $150 million spent on marketing and promo, the film still profited well over $200 million, which is considered successful usually, but this film in particular, WB I'm sure saw as a failure, especially when compared to the first Avengers film, which grossed $1.5 billion with approximately the same budget just the previous year in 2012. Now, if you ask me, that was their issue right from the start. Too busy looking at the success of their competitor, and they got fucking dollar signs in their eyes immediately, instead of realizing that Marvel actually meticulously crafted this universe over time. And they rushed it. They rushed to put it out, not only to compete, but out of pure greed. You know what I'm saying? The foundation of the Justice League was built so sloppy. It was an improper introduction to the universe. First of all, the Trinity was not properly established. It was idiotic to have Batman v Superman as a Man of Steel sequel before introducing Batman to the universe in his own solo movie. Then you could have had Diana introduced in that solo Batman movie leading up to BVS. That would have been way better to establish the Trinity. Now, it was also a huge opportunity missed by not having a Ben Affleck, led solo Batman movie. I thought that was dumb as fuck to not have that happen. You feel me? I don't know who made the decision. I know later on down the line, Ben Affleck decided to walk away, but at that time, that's something you should have made happen, without a doubt. Now, another thing that I found so idiotic was, why did they introduce the death of Superman's storyline so early in the universe? Superman literally only had one solo film, then you had BVS, and then you introducing his death before you even established all your characters in the universe. Like, I don't know whose choice that was, but to me, look, if I was running it, you could have had the death of Superman be part of the finale or part of the first saga, or however you want to call it. You know what I'm saying? That would have been better use if it was towards the end of the universe. Now, or what you could have done is, by that point, if we had got a good Flash movie, you could have used a Crisis on Infinite Earth storyline, you know what I'm saying, to actually propel the death of Superman somehow, and then, retroactively bring him back after everything is said and done. Now, that could have happened towards the end of whatever saga, you feel me? But they chose to introduce it a movie and a half in, and then now we're left without Superman for the rest of the entire DCEU. I don't know what the fuck they were thinking at WB. For people who are greedy for dollars, like, a short bet was the Trinity, and y'all still managed to fuck that up. I don't understand, bro. I really don't. Yo, also, speaking of The Flash, it was one of the worst superhero movies I've ever seen. $200 million budget, which I don't know where the fuck it went. The CGI was terrible. Michael Keaton's Batman was wasted. And they had no valid reason for Supergirl to even appear. She served no purpose to the story whatsoever. Also, they completely botched the Flashpoint storyline. Now, the film, it was the worst box office flop in superhero history. They lost WB $200 million. And honestly, with the end result we got, I could say it deserved every bit of its failure. Now, another problem is, I don't know why they cast Ezra Miller. Looked nothing like Barry, acted nothing like Barry. His take was horrible. And after all the controversy surrounding him, they still kept him on. Now at the movie flop, he's out. But if it would have created commas, trust me, there would have been subsequent sequels. And that just speaks to the greed of Warner Brothers and most Hollywood studios as a whole. Nonsense, bro. Now, for all you Zack Snyder fans, listen. I will say this. Joss Whedon's version of the Justice League was terrible, without question. You know what I'm saying? Now, Snyder's version to me was a bit better, but I'm gonna be honest, that shit was still dumpster juice. I don't care what nobody says. Look, Zack Snyder, great visual artist, but as far as storytelling, he sucks. And then the nigga's dialogue is atrocious, bro. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to burst your bubble, you Zack Snyder fans, but the Snyderverse was still shitty to me. Like, his version of Justice League, dog, 4 hours of my life I would never get back. You know what I'm saying? And I didn't even watch that shit the whole way through. I literally, had to watch an hour a day. Horrible, man. Horrible. Now, listen, I will say this. You know, the DCEU has had some success, I guess. Well, really, they had one film cross over the $1 billion mark, and that was the first Aquaman film. You know what I'm saying? And from what I've heard, you know, it was alright. I actually never seen that movie. And then DC as a whole, you really only had 2 other successes, and them shits aren't even set in the DCEU. You had Joker, which crossed over the $1 billion mark, and then we had, you know, the recent Matt Reeves, The Batman, but both those movies don't even take place within that universe. So the whole shit was a mess to begin with, you know what I'm saying? The studio heads at the time, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to put complete blame on Walter Hamada, but by the time he got in there, that shit did not get any better. You know what I'm saying? Now, I do have faith in the new studio heads. You know, we got Peter Safran with James Gunn. And in my mind, James Gunn can do no wrong. So far, everything he has touched has turned to gold. I mean, look at Peacemaker. Great show. And he brought the best out in John Cena to me, especially from a comedic standpoint. John Cena actually might be, you know, the best, WWE superstar turned actor. He just might be. Dave Bautista's up there too. I ain't gonna hold you. Also, he worked with James Gunn. Guardians. Now, the Suicide Squad, I also did love. I really did. You know, and it was very well put together. And that shit was light years better than David Ayer's Suicide Squad. You know what I'm saying? Now, and Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. Man, oh man. Besides Spider-Verse, it was the best superhero film I've seen this year. By far. You know what I'm saying? It might have been better than the first movie in that series, actually. James Gunn knows what he's doing, and I feel like he knows how to balance his comedy with very character-driven stories. You understand what I'm saying? He's very good at that. For example, to take a character as minuscule as Ratcatcher, highlight her suffering and the trauma she carries, and make me empathize with her, and see her as just as important to the team despite her abilities, it's a testament to how his writing can get us to be so emotionally invested. Like, I ain't gonna hold you. I cried like 3 times during Guardians of the Galaxy as well. Don't judge me, y'all. Look, my faith in James Gunn is cemented. But I did find something intriguing that I seen on the slate for the DCU, and that's Creature Commandos. Now, I know of them. I don't have too much knowledge about them, but like I said, if he could make us care about a character like Ratcatcher and the Suicide Squad, I'm pretty sure he's also gonna do a great job with Creature Commandos. Like I said, I have faith in James Gunn. You feel me? Anyways, you guys already know what to do. Like, share, subscribe, comment. Like I said, man, we trying to run it up. You feel me? Anyways,